So WWE just announced the release of more than 10 stars who were more than likely set to appear in WWE 2K22, and with the game due to release in around 4 months, the community is currently up in arms about how these releases will affect the game and whether this means that we could see another delay.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
So before we get into this fully, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news on the game, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. So let's talk the current round of releases and how they could affect the game, as a lot of the community are currently under the impression that this will lead to another delay, as the last round of releases seems to be what people attribute to the game being pushed back to March, although from 2K's perspective that wasn't the reason at all, as they say that they always planned to release the game around WrestleMania. So let's take a look at the stars who were released from their contracts that would most likely have been included in the game, as this list includes 7 stars who appeared in 2K20, with those stars including Keith Lee, Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Mia Yim, Gran Metalik, Oney Lorcan and Lince Dorado. On top of that, we also have Karrion Kross, Scarlett and Eva Marie, all of which I would imagine were planned for the game at some point, as due to Kross and Scarlett being as over as they were in NXT, then I would imagine that a lot of time was spent recreating their entrance. Other releases that could impact the game include Franky Monet, Hit Row's B-Fab and Harry Smith, who I think were probably a lot less likely to appear, although I could imagine Franky and B-Fab would have been likely contenders for DLC. So there's quite a lot of names there that would likely have been included in the game in some form, so how will their release impact it? Well, the good news is that aside from Scarlett, who has a 30-day no-compete clause, all of the other stars appear to be under 90-day no-compete clauses, which stops them from signing with another company until that time is up. The reason that is good news is that 90 days from now would take us to Wednesday, February 2nd, which, depending on when in March the game is due to release, that could mean that there's as little as 4 weeks from the no-compete clause ending to the game releasing. In that regard, I think there is every bit of chance that all of these stars will still appear in the game as planned, as reports following the last round of releases claimed that 2K would only be forced to remove stars if they appeared with a rival promotion, although in this case, by the time that no-compete clause ends, any star making their debut in the likes of AEW or Impact Wrestling, that would be way too late in the development process to remove them, as games tend to go gold and be sent out for mass production around 3 to 4 weeks before release. Now obviously, in the current age, the version of a game that ships isn't always the same as the version that you end up playing, as Day 1 patches are pretty much standard these days, so there's always the possibility that a star could be removed after release if WWE really want that star gone. However, by that time the roster would have already been announced, and any removal would be met with widespread criticism. So that's the first reason. The second reason that I don't see a delay happening is that when you look at the list of stars who were released, there's only really Nia Jax that I could see having an impact in My Career mode, therefore I would imagine that these releases won't affect the likes of My Career in the same way that past releases did. Taking all of this into account, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, 2K have not confirmed anything, I don't think these releases will affect the game, at least not in a big way. I imagine that we'll still see all of the release stars who were originally planned to appear in the game, with the exception of anyone that was penciled in as DLC, as you wouldn't want to offer up someone who's been released as a DLC option. So that's my take on the releases. I could be wrong. WWE could force 2K to remove these stars to avoid them getting a payday and further cut costs, but if the rumours of GM mode, for example, are true, then I would imagine that 2K would do everything that they possibly can to keep these stars, as the bigger the roster, the better a mode like that would be. So that's my thoughts on the news. Let me know what you think in the comments, as I would love to get your opinion, and if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news on the game, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.